What's up, my man?
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
My name's Officer Richardson with American Fork Police. The reason I stopped you is the stop sign. You didn't come to quickly stop at it.
I didn't?
No.
Since I talked with Reckless Ben about the stolen Lego situation and the ensuing harassment and retaliation that he received from the American Fork Police Department in Utah, a lot has happened.
Someone actually hacked into the American Fork Police Department and released all the footage, unredacted, of my interactions with them.
You better let him know to not ever come back here any way, shape, or form. Don't have Ben or Reckless Ben come, because I'm ending it.
How many did you get? You got Ben?
We got 5 right now.
Including Ben Schneider?
Yes.
Sweet.
I got the chance to talk to the other guy with Ben in the videos, Tyler Shaw,
We film YouTube videos.
Oh, dope, sweet.
Yeah.
who was the one driving the car and the cops falsely accused him of being on drugs.
I don't do drugs. I don't do alcohol. I've never done any of that in my life.
Not on Adderall or any type of
No
prescription
Adderall,
medication?
nothing.
A lot of his stuff is satire, so it's like, oh, you signed this, and you break the contract, and you have to like do the chicken dance or something like that. You know, it's obviously like just satire, it's just like as a joke.
And most importantly, I now have access to the full set of unredacted body cam videos that, believe it or not, make the American Fork Police Department look even worse than before.
He's hired this Reckless Ben, this crazy YouTube guy, to come and harass us.
If you were in our shoes, what would you do? I guess.
I would leave it. Well,
$200,000 though is like
that's
crazy.
the thing, is that with the
Our friend,
situation
he dies if he doesn't get paid.
and knowing him and just everything involved,
You would just let your friend's dad die.
so it sucks. Yeah, it's a situation, and that's just what it is.
Whatever the truth about the underlying dispute about the Legos, one thing I know for sure: this police department chose to take sides in that dispute and then abuse their authority and trample constitutional rights in the process.
The dad's gonna die of cancer soon.
Yeah, and that is really terrible to hear.
Yeah.
But I genuinely would just leave it. So, any other questions for me?
Because I now have all the footage, I'm going to show you exactly what they did and explain the constitutional violations that occurred, as well as what is to be done about it.
And I'm Reckless Ben. If you wanna like look me up.
So let's go through it. In my part 1 video, I talked to Ben himself about everything that had happened. He provided me with all of the documentation that he had, and I started going through it. But there was another eyewitness that I needed to talk to, and that was Tyler Shaw, the kid who was driving the car that Ben was in at the time this whole thing kicked off with the American Fork Police Department.
I met Ben a few years ago. I was his cameraman for his haunted house video, and he found out I live in Utah, and basically told me that there's a crook that lives in my neighborhood, and he wanted me to help him with this investigative video. He shipped a bunch of stuff to my house, so a lot of the props that are in the house, like the signs, like the I Steal From Old People signs, all those were shipped to my house, and he met me there, and we came up with a game plan, and yeah, that's how we started working on the video together.
Are you in American Fork or just nearby?
I live like a few blocks away from Joshua Johnson, actually.
Ben, he flies in from California?
He rents out an Airbnb about 5 minutes from my house. I bring all the stuff that he shipped to my house to his Airbnb, and he just basically explains like, yeah, this guy, he stole $200,000 worth of Legos, and he's coming up with this game plan to, I guess, sue him in Utah, like personally serve papers and stuff like that. But obviously a lot of stuff is for content too. So that's where like the signs come in place. Yeah, we did the Mormon thing, the delivery package, all that.
Basically, if Josh wants to save the day, I got him a trophy that says Joshua Johnson saved the day. And we'll give him this trophy, but he has to give the Legos back first.
Basically all that game planning was done at the Airbnb, like right after he landed in Utah.
The first time that you guys came in contact with the American Fork Police Department, that was on March 8th. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What had you guys been doing that day prior to you getting pulled over?
Earlier that morning, he had me deliver like a package.
The UPS package?
Yeah, the UPS package with the rubber chickens in it. We had him sign like a contract. It's like a joke contract because a lot of his stuff is satire. So it's like, oh, you sign this and you break the contract and you have to like do the chicken dance or something like that. You know, like it's obviously like just satire, it's just like as a joke. We all knew like the contract isn't like actually like a legal contract or anything.
So as I'm investigating what actually happened, this whole thing continues to blow up even more on the internet. Everyone's talking about it, opinions are flying. So as I'm getting ready to interview Tyler, I'm trying to get the actual raw body cam video from any source so that I could break it down properly and accurately. I've got my paralegal preparing a FOIA request to go to Utah, and we're discussing the wording of it. And then Reckless Ben tells me that the American Fork Police Department had apparently just released the footage themselves. He gave me the link, which was a Dropbox link, and so I clicked on it, and there's a bunch of folders, and one of the folders at the bottom says unredacted footage, and so I immediately tell my team about it, and we download all of the footage. And it's a good thing that we did, because the link just dies like minutes later, and it's all gone. So we now have the footage, which is great, and I can now see why they wanted to redact that footage and hide substantial parts of it from the public. But there's a lot of it, and I've been busy going through it, and I've already seen some egregious things that you really need to see. But it's important to go chronologically through it if we want to fully understand what happened. Taking it step by step, comparing different officers' body cams, we can now see exactly how this went down and why it happened the way it did. Everything can be traced back to a kid showing up on Josh Johnson's porch on March 8th, 2026, wearing a fake UPS hat, delivering a package of rubber ducks.
An American Fork resident, Joshua Johnson, requested phone contact from the American Fork Police Department. Officer Tonga with the American Fork Police Department contacted Mr. Johnson by phone.
Officer Tonga with American Fork Police Department. Is this Joshua?
Yeah, this is me.
How can I help you today?
So this kid showed up at my door and my partner's door, my business partner. He had like a fake UPS hat on. He obviously didn't work for UPS. And he hands me this package. And he's like, oh yeah, sign it. I'm looking at it. I'm like, looking at him, and he's got like a taped UPS thing on his hat. I'm like, you work for UPS? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I couldn't figure it out at the time. So then I did a little squiggly line on his phone. And so he delivered. I know it sounds unconsequential, it doesn't sound significant, but we own a store, or we owned a store in Oregon. And long story short, the lady we got it from pissed this guy off. You don't want to hear the whole story, but he wants us to pay for her contract, which I never signed a contract with the guy. So he's got a YouTube guy coming after us. His name's Reckless Ben. And so this kid was likely a follower of Reckless Ben, and they're just trying to see where we live. I just want to document that they delivered a fake package to our address. So if they ever come back, I don't know why. It needs to be documented.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's definitely.
I'm not going to be nice. We have video. I don't have video, but my partner has video of the kid pretending to be a UPS delivery driver.
Okay, is it the same male?
Yeah, they look the exact same. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. And would you be able to get that footage?
Yeah, he's dealing with church and stuff. So as soon as he can, he'll get that to me. If you give me your email, I'll email it over.
I sure can.
The package was later determined to contain rubber ducks.
I now know that this was actually Ben's friend Tyler. I know because he told me when I talked to him.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, sick. Yeah, I can.
The guy who shows up with the fake UPS hat on, delivers the rubber ducks, that was you.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And so you actually had a conversation with Josh Johnson?
I did, kind of. I just said, hey, I got a package for you. I just need a signature here. And then he was like, okay. And then he just signed it. And then I went about my day. But that was like the only interaction I ever had with Joshua Johnson.
And so how do you guys end up getting pulled over?
We ended up leaving for a bit. Ben did his own thing. And then we came back. And when we came back, Ben was going to have a conversation with Joshua Johnson. But Joshua Johnson was like right outside, like on the phone screaming at somebody. And we couldn't tell what was going on, but we decided to just sit there and wait for Joshua Johnson to get off the phone.
Just a few more questions with the delivery driver. Could you just describe him?
Yeah, he looked like a teenager almost. Like my brain was, I was going to speak at church, and I was like walking out the door, and then this, you know what I mean? So I'm not in the mind frame of expecting a scammer to show up. But he's really young. He was blonde, I think. Had a fake UPS hat on, like he had taped UPS on his hat. Skinny, probably 17, I guess, 18 would be my guess. So the YouTube guy is named Reckless Ben, and he probably has, this kid is probably a follower of Reckless Ben.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
Gotcha.
And Reckless Ben has showed up at the corporate headquarters in Provo. Provo has a case against Reckless Ben for harassing Bricks and Minifigs is the name of the corporate store.
Sorry, could you spell that for me?
Yeah, Bricks and Minifigs. So my partner Brandon Best and I own a franchise in Oregon, and well, we did. Well, anyways, and yeah, I don't know. You want the whole story?
Yeah, sure. Context helps.
What's that? Okay, yeah, okay. So we owned the Eugene, Oregon store. Well, I don't know if I want to put that out there, but so in Salem or Kaiser, Oregon, there was a lady. Her name was Crystal Law, and she was the franchisee in Salem, Kaiser. Well, she abandoned the store, so she had a boyfriend and called corporate up and was like, "Hey, I'm moving to Scotland." So I work at the corporate headquarters as well. So Ammon, the CEO, was like, "Hey, go rescue the Salem store, and you can have it for the price of whatever you recover it for." I'm like, sweet. So Brandon and I, my partner, go down to Salem, and we start to try to clean up that store. But Crystal Law, the old owner, had we didn't know this, but she had signed a consignment deal with a guy named Brian Mansell like a year and a half, almost 2 years before we showed up. And her agreement with this Brian Mansell was to sell his Lego and pay him out if she sold it. Well, she never did that. And it was a big, long list worth maybe $100,000, and she never paid him for it. So there was like 10, 15 sets that we identified that were Brian's, and we told him, you can have these sets, but we're not responsible for Crystal Law. Well, I don't think he can get a hold of Crystal. I think she moved to Scotland. So he wants somebody to be responsible, and he thinks that should be me and Brandon. And we told him, I didn't sign a contract with you. I don't know you from Adam. You know what I mean? Like, these sets I identified as yours, and he won't pick them up. He won't have anything to do with it. He wants me to pay him out the $100,000. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
So he's contacted YouTube people. They've destroyed that business. They sent a lady in there saying, "Hey, I'm going to kill you," to the manager. "I'm going to murder you." And the man to the manager's like, "Well, get killing," you know. And obviously she didn't kill her. But like, they've just done all kinds of crazy stuff. And so we closed the store. We closed the Kaiser store. And now they hung a sign on the building saying, "We sued them and they lost," which isn't true. We just closed because we don't want to fight these people anymore, and it's not a profitable business because of all this, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So he's hired this Reckless Ben, this crazy YouTube guy, to come and harass us. And he walked into corporate, and Ammon, the CEO, kicked him out. And he's gone into the stores, and now he's showing up at my house. It wasn't Reckless Ben that showed up today, but it was a kid, you know?
Yeah. With the package that showed up, was there any labeling or anything on it?
Yeah, it's like a fake label that they printed off. It's obviously fake.
Do you know who it's addressed to?
It's addressed to me.
Okay.
but it's got the wrong zip code. Like,
Oh.
it's just a fake. And Brandon has the same fake label on his package, you know?
Gotcha. If you could take photos of that as well and just submit them to the same link at the same time that you submit that footage from your business partner. What's the name of your business partner?
Brandon Best.
Brandon Best. Common spelling?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. And
I know
he's...
it's weird, Josh Johnson, Brandon Best.
That's all right.
We were mission companions.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Josh mentions church several times, including that his business partner was currently at church and that he was actually on his way to speak at church at the time that this happened, which caused him to be off guard. And he seems to be making sure that this officer was well aware of the fact that both he and his business partner are Mormons.
Did you open the parcel at all?
Yeah, I opened. It's like rubber chickens. I don't know if we want to fingerprint this box. I don't know what you do. I don't know.
With something like this, usually fingerprinting the state lab and just the investigation side of the house, they don't touch it unless it's an aggravated felony where somebody gets hurt or stuff like that.
All right, figured. I mean, I didn't know.
But no, absolutely. It's one of those things where it's always good to ask because...
Well, I don't know. I don't like these guys are crazy. Like their YouTube things, they just do crazy stuff. So I wouldn't put it past them to put something in the box, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have it outside. I just kicked it outside.
If you could also just document the rubber chickens as well.
Yeah, sure.
And then again, just submit it to that link. And then I have a case number for whenever you're ready.
Oh, you'll email me, and then we'll put up all the stuff in there.
Perfect.
And then if they come back, I'm not going to promise I'm going to be a good boy.
I would try to just keep it. I would call us if they continue to, because we were able to take more action, and then obviously we're able to trespass any individuals that you make contact with. So if they come back, we can charge them for criminal trespass and stuff like that. So
what about taking a UPS driver? Is that illegal?
I would have to look into the code. That I obviously impersonating a law enforcement officer is illegal, and I imagine there's something similar for postal workers, but I'm not entirely sure. So I would have to dive into the Utah code and make sure that there is a crime there.
I think UPS would probably have to be the victim there.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, we got two ladies coming over to my house. I don't trust anybody coming over to my house now.
Yeah, you're hyper vigilant at the moment, which is fair, completely fair.
Actually, yeah.
So yeah, if anybody else comes over and it's suspicious, go ahead and give us a call and we'll come over.
I'm pretty sure these guys are suspicious. They're just checking my property out. I don't know if you want to come document them.
Yeah, I'll come drive by and just kind of be in the area for a little bit. I'll head that way. I'll be there probably in the next 5 to 10 minutes.
What if they're gone by then?
If you can get a plate, I would do that.
I'm really pissed. Like I don't know if I could trust myself to walk over there.
Okay. Yeah, if even going inside your house, being away, I'll try to get there as quickly as I can.
Yeah, see if you can hurry over here. I'll talk to these girls and see how long I can keep them.
All right.
But I suspect it's part of the same.
Okay.
I'm pretty angry.
No, I completely get that. I'll be there shortly.
I just, you know what I mean? Like, this is my family.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't want to be on YouTube. So, yeah, all right, I'll see you when you get here. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Hey,
He's turning left
that
right there.
Hyundai that's right
Either
there.
that Mexican kid or that car. Over there. He's turning there. See, he stopped. He's going to go pick up those two girls.
See if you can get a stop on it.
I talked to that kid. I don't know if it's him.
Over.
But that car, as soon as I started walking over there, went around the block. He came back. That one? All right, go get that one then.
Hard because he's just saying that they were recording, so there's nothing criminal that they were doing. Just get the 28 for it. Should be good. Hello. That individual just called because he's had a few weird incidents.
Oh, actually?
Sorry?
Oh, actually, I'm just waiting here for one of my friends.
Where's your friend at?
I think she lives in this house, so I'm going on a date today, so I'm just
Oh, gotcha.
picking.
It's kind of a weird spot to park at, right in front of the driveway.
Oh, I'm in front of the driveway? I thought this was like a... I thought it was in the middle of the driveway. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Do you happen to have an ID on you?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me see.
I'll be over to talk with you in a second.
Ask him his friend's name. He doesn't have a friend that lives here, I guarantee.
So,
So I have a picture of my ID
no,
somewhere.
you're fine.
Sorry, but I don't...
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
If I don't have a way of proving if you're lying to me right now,
Mm-hmm.
okay? But if you are recording, if you are here harassing this
Yeah.
individual,
Mm-hmm.
that could be a problem,
Mm-hmm.
right? So,
I respectfully have no idea about
so you
this.
don't have any idea of the situation that he's going through. Any? Do you know of anything with a reckless Ben?
No, my name is Ben, but I'm not...
Okay.
I'm not... I don't know.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
So that's just what I'm advising because that's what he's telling me.
No, 100%. I totally... I mean, I'm down to stay out if you have any other questions.
No, you're fine.
I'm sorry for the inconvenience and everything.
No, you're fine.
really just
Would you mind? They said that you were recording your house. Would you mind pulling up your pictures and then going to the bottom?
Yeah, going to the bottom.
Yeah, and just showing me your most recent.
So, let's see. I do have a picture of the house, but not specifically like for that, just a cool house. I explore abandoned places and stuff, so I take a lot of cool aesthetic shots. So if that seems off, let me see.
Okay, so you're lying to me.
About what?
Why are you recording him?
I don't know, I'm sorry.
Okay, so tell me what it's about.
So with the YouTuber Reckless Ben, he invited like all these people kind of out. Ben has some contracts signed with him, I guess. And Ben said he's gonna get a warrant out for his arrest or whatever. So I'm just getting paid to film stuff. I'm literally just a filmer.
Okay, so you're just
I'm not part of like any of the scheme. I know from what I know, Reckless Ben came into Utah last night. He flew in.
Okay.
I have those texts to prove to you if you want.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, let me show you them actually. Yeah, this is the start of me and Reckless's Ben's like text if you want to just read.
Yeah.
How you doing today, sir?
Good, how you doing?
Good. I'm Ben, by the way. Nice
What's
to-
that?
I'm Ben.
Ben?
Yeah, not the like.
You're
the
not
original
Reckless Ben?
No, I'm just another Ben that actually lives in Utah. Yeah, so I'm not the Ben. But
Are you okay if I photograph these?
yeah, go for it. Would you guys, I guess, like to hear my like what I'm just doing here?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was just sorry for like I guess like I explore abandoned places. So with cops, I do have like some trespassing charges in the past. So it's always
Sounds like it. You guys are going on people's property and messing with them. So
Yeah,
that doesn't surprise me.
my I guess whole position in this whole thing is really just filming. So the YouTuber he came in last night he flew in from I think LA or something like that. He just posted on his Instagram, hey, everyone's in Utah, I'm filming a video. He didn't go in.
Can you go back to the photo or to the video?
Do you get paid or something for this, or what?
Yeah, I get paid. I film for different creators around Utah. This just happened to come up as an opportunity for me to just make some extra money.
So you're exchanging a criminal record for money?
I didn't. What does that mean?
Well, I mean, like
You're getting charges.
You're getting charged for like trespassing and stuff for money. It's not really.
Well, I never entered onto the.
I'm not. You just said you have multiple trespassing charges, right?
Just with abandoned plate. Like I go to abandoned
Right.
places,
So
but I don't do that anymore.
You're filming for money for that. That's a bad idea, is what I'm saying.
Oh yes, I've stopped doing that. It's just that used to be my
Well,
past.
yeah.
Okay. Can you send this to me? That video.
Yeah, totally.
Whatever he's dealing with, Reckless Ben, that doesn't involve you. It doesn't need to involve you.
100%.
Right? Hey, can you get the contact for Reckless Ben from him? Okay, I'll be back over here in a second. I'm gonna go over to that other vehicle. Yeah.
Did they follow you from Josh's house?
Well, we weren't even at Josh's house. We were like down the street from his house, like in the neighborhood. But yeah, they followed me from the neighborhood to that stop sign. Yeah, so it was like a few blocks that they were following me for. Yeah.
So they pulled you over for not stopping at a stop sign. Do you think that you stopped?
I think I stopped. Yeah, I mean, you look at the footage; it shows that I stopped. I definitely stopped, but they say I didn't do it before the line.
I'm sure to thumbs up prior. J42 traffic. What's up, my man?
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
My name's Officer Richardson with American Fork Police. The reason I stopped you is the stop sign. You didn't come to quickly stop at it.
I didn't?
No.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately. Do you have a driver's license on you?
Yeah, I do.
Appreciate you.
So then what happens? The first officer walks up to the car.
I was confused because I definitely believed that I stopped at the stop sign.
Those boxing gloves?
Yeah, so we got like a purge mask. We got a bunch of camera equipment. We film YouTube videos. So.
Oh, dope, sweet.
Yeah. Oh, you don't need my registration, do you?
No. If you have insurance.
Yeah.
And then just the driver's license. Yeah. Oh,
Shoot,
sorry. I
sorry.
just dropped that. He's got one in the car.
My insurance is on my phone. Is it cool if I pull it
Yeah, that's
up?
fine. Yeah. I'll just give you mail
I'm
in
so
for that,
sorry
okay?
that I didn't.
Oh, you're good.
Stop.
You're good. Yeah, you're 1084. With the dude in the back. I'm just getting verbal warning, no ticket or anything.
I appreciate you.
At that point, the alleged stop sign violation, even if legitimate, can no longer support the further detention of Tyler and Ben. When the officer said that he's giving Tyler a warning, at that point the traffic stop is over and they should have been free to leave. Any additional or prolonged detention must be supported by additional reasonable suspicion of some other crime or violation. Just because Officer Tonga wants to speak with Tyler or Ben, Just because Officer Tonga wants to speak with Tyler or Ben does not justify detaining Tyler or Ben.
Officer Tonga said you're involved in some other incident that he's got to talk to you about.
Interesting.
No.
Sorry, what?
Isn't that Purple Canyon?
No.
We don't know what it's about.
Yeah, we don't know what it's about. He just said,
Is it okay if I film for like just my safety?
Yeah, we're filming too.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
You can film all you want.
You absolutely
Wait, what's the other incident?
We have no idea. He's like around the corner, but he's like, he's gonna come talk with you.
With me?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what's going on. Don't have a clue what's going on.
They did not say that you were free to go. They told you to wait around because Officer Tonga was coming to talk to you.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's around the corner, so
I apologize.
You're good. I don't think you have anything to apologize for.
So we're here to film. We film like documentaries.
Okay.
And there's.
Are you filming right now?
Yeah, we are.
Shout out YouTube, dude.
And so what happened after that? It sounded like the cops were sort of making small talk about YouTube while they're sort of buying time for Officer Tonga to arrive.
Yeah, I guess kind of like giving dad advice. I don't know. And then, yeah, of course, they were talking about like what we do for journalism and stuff like that. A lot of small talk.
Are you guys you got a lot of subscribers? You starting out or what?
I just started out like a year and a half ago.
Yeah,
so
we
like
kinda-
9,000 subscribers.
Yeah, we like.
Is this going on YouTube then?
Yeah.
Shout out YouTube, dude.
We like sneak into cults and we like.
You heard of Scientology?
Yeah.
We joined Scientology for I joined it for like 4 weeks.
What's your YouTube?
Yeah, where's your card?
It's called Reckless Ben.
Reckless Ben? Okay.
Yeah.
I started off doing slacklining. Slacklining.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever get any sort of warning citation?
No, they ended up not giving me a citation, but they said just a verbal warning for running the stop sign.
Is it like a prize or something? Or?
You got $20,000 grand prize for the first person that gets through.
Sorry, give me 1 minute.
That's wild.
What's up?
Richardson mutes his body cam and has some discussions that are hidden from us, likely with Officer Tonga and other officers who were there with Josh at his house.
Before we like go, unfortunately, and it's like, oh, you can send our kids here, you know, and that way, I think that's like the ultimate goal we're gonna try and do. But nice. It's been pretty fun.
So I guess somebody reported a trespass involving you two. So he's just gonna come over here.
Trespass.
I guess, like I said,
Trespass in our car?
I have no clue.
Yeah, because we've just been driving around.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wish I had more
We've
info.
just been talking in
but
the car, just driving.
Mousetrap. We wanted to get a mousetrap. We went to Walmart to buy a mousetrap.
You still love that game. But he was just like, yeah, I just got to talk to him about this, and then he just needs to give you a trespass warning from some dude's house.
Okay.
I don't know what dude or where or when or how. I don't know
But not
anything.
him, right? Just me?
I have no clue. I wish I had more info. Dude, I see the videos where the cops are like, they walk up and they're all pissed off.
Yeah,
You guys are
yeah.
too cool.
Thanks.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's like, I mean, I don't care if I end up on YouTube and like, I mean, I don't care if
You should look good.
I don't care if I'm on YouTube, but like, you see those videos of the cops that walk up and they're just a-holes.
Yeah.
And they go viral for being an a-hole.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's my worst fear, dude.
Yeah, it was really weird actually. I've never dealt with police before, so that was like my first time.
Well, thank you for being nice then.
Yeah, dude.
So then at some point, this Officer Tonga shows up. What happens?
They instantly are just asking for Ben. Like, okay, which one of you guys are Ben? So at that point, I just knew like, okay, this stop wasn't for the stop sign. It was because they wanted to talk to us about what's been going on with the whole Lego situation and Joshua Johnson and stuff like that.
Anyway, here's Officer Tonga.
Hello guys, I'm Officer Tonga.
How's it going? Tyler?
Bones, I do
Bones?
So who's Ben? Ben? How's Utah? It's good. You like it? So here's the thing, right? Is that he called in because people were filming his property. He got a package delivered today, right? And I already spoke to somebody else. He was filming him. I have the footage. I have the text messages, right? Let's let civil problems remain civil, right? And let it just stay in court, okay? So at this point, do you guys have your IDs on you?
I got drivers in my.
He's got my driver's license, right?
I got,
Yeah, he'll get it back to you
I
once
got
we're done
his.
here. You don't have your ID on you?
Up to his house. He lives like right on the corner though.
Okay. The two females that are involved, so do you have their information? So, because the thing is that everybody today is being trespassed from that property.
Okay. Yeah, we just barely met those people today.
Okay, do you have their contact information?
You're 1084 with them.
You weren't in contact with them by text or anything?
They're
Yeah, they
YouTubers.
just showed up.
They're cool. They're chill.
Renting out an Airbnb.
Not causing any issues.
We just barely met them. Like, they were walking on the street.
Well, I stopped him for stop sign violation.
Yeah.
Is that he's got a family, he's got kids. We don't need to be involving people's families in civil matters with businesses and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, money's just money, and we don't want somebody getting hurt. We don't want you guys getting hurt. We don't want him getting hurt. We don't want something turning stupid, right?
So is this just in relation to, obviously you guys said you do like the journalism stuff, is it just the same type of deal?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
that guy, he stole $100,000 from this guy, and we won in court. So we're just here to collect the money, I guess. So that it doesn't work like that, right? How does it work then? So it's all in court.
Yeah, but he didn't show up to court. It's
yeah.
a state. It's in Oregon.
So that would come to us, and then
it would go through like the
law enforcement and all those avenues, and it would go through civil claims court. So like
we went to civil and we won.
So I understand that. So again, usually how that usually works is you guys are not going to be the ones to collect it, right? You're not going to go to his house and collect it. It'll be done through the court somehow. So if he did that, you guys need to work all that out through the courts.
Going
honestly,
and trying to press somebody for money, that doesn't turn out well.
Well, we weren't going to press him. We were just going to ask him, like, hey, like, why haven't we?
How should we figure this out? Also, he has a warrant out for his arrest in 2 weeks, and so if we don't collect the money in the next 2 weeks, he's going to get arrested. I think it's like 20 years in jail or something.
because he stole a bunch of money. And so
Like
we just wanna collect the
$200,000
money.
worth.
This is all from Oregon, right?
From Oregon, yeah,
and the
yeah.
person who we
where he
stole
did it.
from is dying of cancer.
Is it an extraditable warrant?
So he's gonna die. Like our good friend's gonna die if we don't get the money.
So, you want to just walk me through, just walk me through you guys' plan? Because coming here to try to collect $100,000, $200,000, it sounds crazy.
Well, it's a $100,000 lawsuit that we won.
Your phone's falling.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, I get that. I'm just
in
trying
the
to
state
get.
of Oregon.
I'm just trying to get an idea
So
of.
he runs a Lego store, and this old man spent his entire life collecting the world's largest Star Wars Lego collection set. He spent his whole life doing it, and he said he teamed up with the Lego store and said, "Hey, can you guys help me sell my Legos?" And that guy was the owner of the store. He said, "Yeah, for sure." He took all the Legos and didn't pay him anything. And now the man's dying of cancer. You know, that's why he's trying to sell the Legos. He's trying to pay for his cancer treatment.
Yeah.
And like chemo and stuff. Money, I guess, and now they have no money to pay for cancer and stuff. So we're like, okay, we'll take him to court. We took him to court. We won, and then he shut down his Lego store to avoid paying us. So we're like, well, I guess we'll just go to his house and just politely ask. Like, the plan. If that's what the game plan was, I was literally just gonna be like, hey. I
Yeah.
think it's kind of a stupid move to shut down the
Starting
store
off,
to avoid paying us.
you say politely, but starting off by dropping off a box with rubber ducks in it, that doesn't go over well.
We didn't do that.
Yeah, we didn't. That wasn't me, but.
Okay. Well, it probably stemmed from. You said you run a YouTube, right?
Yeah.
With a lot of followers.
We haven't posted anything about this though.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so I was literally, my plan was just to walk up, just politely and be like, hey, we won in court. I know you're trying to avoid paying us because you shut down the store. Like, I was just at the store, I think, like 3 days ago, and we looked in, we saw the Lego set still in the store. We're like, can you just open up the store for us so we can just get the Legos back so we can pay for his chemo? That was our plan.
Okay.
Like, we already won in court. You're going to get arrested in 2 weeks. Like, if you just open the store for us, you don't have to get arrested. Like, I don't want you to get arrested. You don't want to get arrested. I definitely don't want you to get arrested because if you're arrested, you can't pay the family back, and then he dies. So
Yeah.
it's like,
But at the end of the day, you can't force anybody to do anything.
yeah, but we're gonna force him. We're gonna politely ask.
No,
him.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, showing up here, even if he's not showing up to court and everything like that, highly likely he's probably not gonna be willing to play ball.
Be very careful. You guys obviously aren't being in trouble today. You're not getting charged or anything like that. It's all civil, right? But you got to be careful. Right. So again, that needs to be handled through the courts, right? And if there's a warrant, there's a warrant. Call us. We'll do whatever we need to do with the warrant. If it's extraditable and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well,
But-
we just like wanted to because
So
we
hold
thought
on.
we might be doing him a favor by saying, like,
So again, right? I understand what we're doing. I understand we want views. You guys have been super cool with us. I'm not trying to be a dick. I don't think you guys are being 100% truthful with what's going on, but we're not going to push it because it is what it is. And again, you guys are doing whatever you're doing. I would just be careful. And then, like he said, you're trespassed from that house, okay, the property. You can film from the sidewalk wherever is public, right? But you can't go on that property. If you do, you'll be charged, okay?
Okay, yeah, for sure. But if you want to look us up, you can look up Reckless Bet.
Yeah,
and see how
I'm sure we will, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not criticizing your character or anything like that. I'm going off of what information we have
Oh, yeah,
today
for sure, yeah,
from
yeah.
both you and whoever this dude is.
What did he say?
I didn't talk to him.
What did? Yeah.
So he just outlined basically the exact same situation, that there's a current lawsuit, and that
The lawsuit's over. Like,
well, regardless, he outlined the lawsuit and everything like that, and so that's what we were investigating is trespass, is because he was alluding to that maybe the females may have walked onto his property, and
They
you
were on
guys
the
don't.
sidewalk as far as we could see.
Right, and so that was the thing, is that I was just trying to make contact with everybody and just notify everybody of trespass, and then have you guys on your way.
We were just hoping we could like reach an agreement where he pays the family, and that way he doesn't have to go to jail, you know? Because then we'd be like, hey, we'll call the
And
police.
that's respectable.
That's what, that was genuinely our plan.
Yeah, but like I said, if they're not willing to show up to court, they're more than likely not willing to play ball with whoever is on the opposite end of that lawsuit.
But I think before it was just, oh, you have to pay this money. Now it's like he's going to go to jail for 20 years. So it's like, I think that might be more incentive for him to work with them. I don't know.
Yeah. So
That's what we're hoping, at least. I'm just trying to tell you what our thought process
no, absolutely, and getting your side of the story. And
So that's just where we're at today. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Okay, so no going onto his property.
Right.
I guess I could call, but he doesn't answer my calls anymore. So if you were in our shoes, what would you do? I guess
I would leave it.
$200,000 though is like
that's
crazy.
the thing is that with the
Our
situation
friend, he dies if he doesn't get paid. 'Cause
and
then
knowing him and just everything involved.
you would just let your friend's dad die.
So it sucks. Yeah, it's a situation, and that's just what it is. And leaving it up to the courts and law enforcement and just smarter people than me in the courtroom, leave it up to them.
Yeah, and they said we won.
And again, these things take time, and
the dad's gonna die of cancer soon.
yeah, and that is really terrible to hear.
Yeah.
But I genuinely would just leave it. So, any other questions for me?
You can't do anything to help then, as far as this goes?
It's all civil.
We could, okay.
So it's all civil, all has to be handled in court. I can't force him to give money, that's not my job. I'm all criminal end.
Right,
and
but
that
property theft of over 100,000 is a criminal offense.
all happened in Oregon.
It all happened in Oregon.
And they're going to arrest him soon for that, but that doesn't get us paid back the money. You know, it's like that just gets
Yeah.
arrested, which is going to happen. But we already dealt with all this stuff. Yeah.
So you guys are free to go.
Okay.
Appreciate you guys being cool and cooperative.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Um,
yeah. And I'm Reckless Ben. If you want to like look me up and want to contact me somehow.
I got your contact information from the other
You
individual.
got my ID information and stuff.
ID information.
Okay.
So okay, sweet.
Sweet.
Have a good one, guys.
Are we good?
Yeah.
He basically told Ben that he needs to stop harassing Joshua Johnson. He said, let civil problems remain civil. Ben's like, he's like, we already tried to go the civil way. How do we go about this?
Can you hear
Can
me?
you hear me?
I hear you. I can't see you.
I can. You're like a chipmunk again. Should I log out?
Yeah, log out and log back in. Unfortunately, not long after my conversation with Tyler began, his connection went bad, and after several failed attempts, we finally took our conversation to FaceTime, where we went over all of the incidents in detail. There's no doubt in my mind that Tyler is a good kid who's never been in trouble with the law before, and at no time posed Josh Johnson any threat whatsoever. He's just doing something that people are generally allowed to do. Cops and the courts are constantly telling us that anyone can walk up to someone's door and engage in a knock and talk, knock on someone's door and attempt to have a conversation with the occupants. They call this a consensual encounter, and in fact, it's how cops get around the Fourth Amendment many times to gather evidence without a warrant. As the courts explain it, the Fourth Amendment is not implicated when the police do this because it's consensual. Cops are allowed to do what any member of the public is allowed to do. For instance, Girl Scouts or door-to-door salesmen, or even Mormons for that matter. Knock on a stranger's door and talk to them or ask them to sign something or buy something or do any other number of things. The person inside the house is free to refuse to answer the door, or they refuse to participate in the conversation or the requested activity. They're not being forced to do it, so in theory, it's consensual. And since Girl Scouts and Mormons can do it, then cops are allowed to do it as well, according to the courts. So not only is that sort of activity not illegal, it's actually a central component of how law enforcement investigates criminal allegations across the entire country. So it's sort of weird to me that here, the police latched on to the incident of Tyler showing up with a package of rubber ducks at a Mormon's front door, and this entire police department full of Mormons flies to the scene to investigate these shocking reports of a stranger coming to a Mormon's front door. You would think that in a Mormon community, this would not be the sort of thing that they would want to attempt to criminalize. But that's exactly what happened. Josh Johnson calls the American Fork Police Department after Tyler gave them a box of rubber ducks, and Officer Tonga returns his call. Also alleged by Josh was that he saw people outside his house filming in his general direction. These are not allegations of illegal activity, and these are also not allegations that he or his family were ever threatened with any sort of physical harm in any way. And this is important to keep in mind because within just a few few minutes of police being contacted by Josh Johnson, we have our first detention by the police of Tyler and Ben at a traffic stop. The nature and scope of that detention has to be supported by the information that was known by the officers at that time. So here's what happened. Josh is outside in the street and he points out the car that Ben is allegedly in.
That Hyundai that's right there.
Is that Mexican kid or that car?
Then we see a nearby police cruiser, then speed off to go pull over Ben's car. That obviously must be Officer Richardson. Officer Tonga then says over the radio, see if you can get a stop on that. He says this over the radio to Richardson as Richardson speeds towards where Ben's car is driving.
See if you can get a stop on it.
We then see on Officer Richardson's dash cam, Tyler's car stopping at a stop sign.
For sure to thumbs up prior.
J42 traffic.
What's up, my man?
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
My name's Officer Richardson with American Fork Police. The reason I stopped you is the stop sign. You didn't come to quickly stop at it.
I didn't?
No.
He's using his blinker and he's very carefully and properly making a right-hand turn. Is there any universe where any reasonable police officer would be concerned with this driving that we see and then be prompted to go perform a traffic stop for the reason of not stopping at a stop sign? No, the stop never would have happened had Officer Tonga not directed Officer Richardson to go stop Tyler and Ben's car. At the time that decision was made to stop the car, the alleged traffic violation hadn't even occurred yet. The reason that the traffic stop was made was actually admitted over the police officer's unredacted radio.
He's just saying that they were recording, so there's nothing criminal that they were doing. Just get the 28 for it. Should be good.
What does that mean? Well, 1028 under their police code apparently means the check of a vehicle ownership / registration information. So they admitted that nothing criminal was known to have occurred, but that they just wanted to identify who was the registered owner of the vehicle. That's it. Meanwhile, Josh Johnson is basically directing these cops outside his house, telling them what to do, and they appear to be complying, despite the fact that no illegal activity has even been alleged. Meanwhile, at the traffic stop, Officer Richardson with the American Fork Police Department approaches the car that was being driven by Tyler Shaw with reckless Ben in the rear seat. He approaches Tyler and requests his ID. At this point, he does not request Ben's ID, but he doesn't need to, as Richardson walks back to his cruiser to run Tyler's ID and the vehicle registration. He says over his radio, 1084
with the dude in the back.
I'm told that 1084 in Utah County Police Code means I have visitors present. Be careful what you say over the radio. Though it also could have just meant that he was confirming Ben's presence in the car to the officers who were still with Josh Johnson. So the footage indicates that Tyler's vehicle was stopped due to Ben being in the car and not the alleged stop sign violation. These codes are by no means uniform throughout the country. At this point, Tyler and Ben are detained, and therefore the Fourth Amendment is implicated, and reasonable suspicion must exist for the detention to be justified. For a lawful traffic stop, an officer needs specific objective facts indicating that a crime or violation has occurred. There must be observable evidence that justifies the stop. No hunches are allowed. No vague feelings, no unsupported intuition. Here, a stop sign violation, had it occurred, would be sufficient reasonable suspicion for a routine traffic stop. But if it did not occur, which is likely given the video footage here, then some other observable evidence is required. The suspicion that reckless Ben may be in the car is not going to be sufficient unless they have some other independent basis to detain or arrest reckless Ben. The officer who detained Tyler and Ben, Officer Richardson, admittedly did not possess such information. The footage shows that he was just told to stop Tyler's car, and so he stopped Tyler's car.
See if you can get a stop on it.
He had no information providing any lawful reason to stop the car. He admits this several times to Tyler and Ben during the detention.
Officer Tonga said you're involved in some other incident that he's got to talk to you about.
We don't know what it's about.
Yeah, we don't know what it's about.
Wait, what's the other incident?
We have no idea. He's like around the corner, but he's like, oh, he's gonna come talk with you.
With me?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what's going on. Don't have a clue what's going on.
Therefore, the only possible lawful basis to detain Tyler and Ben would be if Officer Tonga had acquired evidence that some crime or violation occurred to support this order to have that car stopped. This is where you look at information that was given to the officers by the person complaining that sets the events in motion. In this case, it was Josh Johnson, but in other cases, it could just be any Karen calling 911. What's important is the substance of the allegations that were conveyed to the officers, not whether they're actually true. And here's what Josh did allege about Tyler and Ben to the officers: that some unknown kid came up with a package to his door pretending to be a UPS delivery person. Josh speculated that this was directed by Ben, but he didn't yet know that it was Tyler. So even if that was illegal, which apparently they didn't believe it was according to their conversations, that wasn't yet tied to Tyler's car. What else did Josh allege? That Ben was outside his home on a public roadway, watching, possibly filming his home as a result of this Lego business dispute in Oregon. However, Ben and Tyler driving around on public roads is not illegal, as the officers admit at multiple points.
You guys obviously aren't being in trouble today. You're not getting charged or anything like that.
You guys are free to go. Okay. Appreciate you guys being cool and cooperative.
It also was not illegal for them to film Josh's home and Josh outside his home, as the officers also admitted. At best, they have the allegation of the two girls getting out of Tyler's car at some point and allegedly going onto Josh's property. But they weren't in the car, and as I've already discussed without more, that isn't even illegal. In most states, including Utah, trespassing doesn't even become trespassing until people are asked to leave and refuse, or if they enter some sort of obvious restricted area. None of that was alleged here. The real reason for the stop is that the officers wanted to identify the registered owner of the vehicle that Ben was riding in. They admitted this. Unfortunately for them, that's not in and of itself a lawful basis for the detention. And what I believe is a clear violation of Rodriguez versus United States, the officers unlawfully extend the length of this traffic stop to give time for Officer Tonga to arrive at the scene. They do this by making small talk and asking unrelated questions. Though these officers seem friendly and genuinely interested, this is a common tactic used by police to gather information during traffic stops. Is this legal? Generally, there is no requirement to answer police questions during traffic stops beyond basic identification and related documentation questions. However, officers may still ask unrelated questions, so long as they don't add time to the stop. But the vehicle occupants also have the right to remain silent and decline to answer any questions, though they should verbalize that choice. Here, the officers get Tyler and Ben talking, and everything that is being said is them fishing for information, all of which is being recorded as evidence on the officers' body cams. And this is where they're trying to find evidence of Tyler and Ben having committed some crime, any crime, because as of now, though they have an angry complainant by the name of Josh Johnson demanding that the cops arrest Tyler and Ben, they don't actually have any evidence of crimes being committed. Thanks to the release of the unredacted body cam footage, we now know that Officer Tonga was working in coordination with Josh Johnson throughout all of this. Immediately after he releases Tyler and Ben from their detention, what is the first thing that he does? That's right, he calls Josh.
Hello, is this Joshua?
Yeah, this is he.
This is Officer Tonga again.
Hey.
So, we were able to notify the individuals of the trespass, that they're not allowed on your property. They were filming your home, as well as you. So, one of the individuals is Reckless Ben. So he flew in. I was told this by one of the individuals, and then I met with Ben, that he flew in. And so he was one of the individuals that was notified of a trespass.
All right.
It sounds like their goal today was to make contact with you and ask for the money that they believe was wrongfully taken back. Obviously, that's not how things work. And he was advised of that, and I told him that this isn't the way to go about it, and that or allow things to remain civil and not turn criminal. So they were all notified of trespass, except for I wasn't able to make contact with the two females. The two females were were gone prior to speaking with. I spoke to 3 individuals.
Got it.
So,
Okay.
but I told them to everybody that's involved to stay away, and the having people show up to your house, drop off a package with ducks in it, that's not cool. Especially when your family's there and everything. It's allow things to just remain civil and in court. So,
yeah, exactly.
Besides that, is there anything else? Is there any questions you have for me?
No, but you got Reckless Ben's information. And
Correct.
He summarizes everything that he learned from Ben from this illegal fishing expedition, for which Josh thanks him.
got it. Yeah, no, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I'm just happy that I realized what that package was and called you guys.
Yeah, that was good timing and good foresight, especially since he just got into town and just arranged this whole thing. So, if that's all I can help you with today, I'll let you go. But again, I wish you the best of luck.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Bye.
But we now know that wouldn't be the last phone call that day between Josh and Officer Tonga. About an hour later, they have yet another phone call that thankfully was captured on the unredacted body cam. In that call, Josh is apparently not happy with the fact that Ben and Tyler weren't arrested at the earlier traffic stop. He's pushing Officer Tonga to charge and arrest them, and Tonga sort of spitballs with Josh about possible criminal charges that they could use to arrest Ben.
Who's this?
This is Officer Tonga.
Oh, hi. So Ben Reckless Ben's been blowing my phone up. I think he tried calling me from private numbers too, so I didn't know if you were him or if you were a cop.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. About how many times has he called you?
Let me look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right in a row. I'm trying to just be at sacrament meeting.
Gotcha.
You know?
Yeah. Were any of those unblocked numbers?
Yeah, all of them but one. One was, did you try calling me?
Yes.
Okay, so then 5, I think. Let me count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, then you at 2:22, and then 5.
Okay, gotcha. So what I would do is either block the numbers or message prior to blocking the numbers of, I don't want any more contact. I'll contact, just refer him to your lawyer. If there needs to be contact, they don't need to be contacting you. And if it continues, then there'll be a problem.
So Provo apparently has a warrant for him. I don't know if you, when you had him, if you looked up if he had any warrants in Utah County, because I guess the prosecutor's a Utah County prosecutor for things he's done in Provo.
Gotcha. Let me take a look real quick.
And there was a detective Duray or Duras that just got promoted to be a detective that's on the case.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm going to put you on hold for 2 seconds while I do a few record checks, okay? Thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
So it does look like he has an active warrant, but unfortunately it isn't serviceable.
Really?
The jail wouldn't take on that, on the charges that he has a warrant for.
Got it. So what would they do? What good is the warrant?
Usually, it's just if they make contact, it's advised to take care of their warrant. It's due to a space issue right now, so hopefully it gets resolved soon. But for the time being, it's they're only taking on certain charges and above. And the charges that he has don't fall into that category.
Got it. Okay, well, good to know. What do I just texted him. I said, don't text me, don't call me, don't come to my house. I'll press charges for harassment.
Yep, that's great. And then just go ahead and block the number. And then if you continue to, if he gets in contact with you by another number and you're able to confirm it's him and record the line, then that would help out law enforcement a lot in terms of just verifying that it is Ben.
Yeah. I mean, what constitutes harassment here?
So just telling somebody that, so I can even provide you with the code, and let me see.
They discussed the possibility of charging him with electronic surveillance harassment. But Josh is disappointed to hear that it's only a misdemeanor.
So you gotta go pretty far to get harassment, right?
So it would fall under electronic communications harassment, and so like doxing somebody's information online, which could be a concern with him being a YouTuber. That would be a electronic communications harassment, as well as if you tell somebody that they can't contact you and then they repeatedly try to continue to contact you, then that also becomes electronic communications harassment.
Right. Is that like a misdemeanor?
Correct.
Oh, okay. Not a felony, huh?
Correct.
Got it. All right.
Then Josh says something about going back to church and fulfilling his calling, once again implying to the officer that he's a Mormon, unlike Reckless Ben.
All right, well, hopefully this is the end of it. I can go back to church and go fulfill my calling and have a peaceful day.
I hope you do as well. And I would just, if you do have encounters with him in the public, obviously he's going to be recording. It wouldn't be a bad idea to do the same. Just we get what people send us without a subpoena, right? I'm not going to go into somebody's phone without a warrant or a subpoena to get footage, and so...
Yeah, this is the start of me and Reckless's Ben's text if you want to just read.
Yeah. Are you okay if I photograph these?
Yeah, go for it.
The footage could be edited and have missing parts to it. So again, footage can also be one-sided.
Yeah. Well, he's forged, so the manager up there, he forged her signature on a contract and tried to get her to write checks. I mean, they've done some serious, that's in Oregon. They've done some serious stuff to harass people.
Gotcha. Then it sucks that there's individuals that this is their job and that's what they choose to do.
Yeah.
And it just it makes the job that much more just difficult because they skirt the line. They skirt the line very closely.
Yeah, they do.
And like I said, if you have contact, or if he shows back up and he's trying to make contact with you, then please call in and we'll have an officer respond.
Okay, you're the best. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
At first, I was skeptical of the whole Mormon conspiracy side of this whole thing, but after the release of the unredacted footage, it actually looks to be a legitimate part of this story, and it may explain why all of this happened in Utah, whereas it didn't happen this way in Oregon. In Ben's Part 1 video in Oregon, while the cops did appear to be covering up the Lego theft allegations, in that they refused to help in any way, they also didn't actively misuse their authority to retaliate against Ben and violate his rights. They just said, perhaps correctly, I don't know, that it was a confusing business dispute and they didn't feel authorized to attempt to decide that themselves, and they tried to keep the peace by enforcing trespassing complaints. That is exactly what should have happened at worst in the Utah portion of Ben's exploits. They should have said, don't go onto Josh's property or else you'll get arrested for trespassing. And then if he did do that, arrest him for trespassing. And they should have said to Josh, you're being a Karen. Just because some kids from YouTube showed up at your door with a box of rubber ducks and they're filming you from public locations where they have a right to be, you don't get to have them seized by the police and interrogated and then arrested just because that would help make you feel safe. Because no crimes were committed, at least not yet. Don't go outside if you don't want to, or don't answer the door if you don't want to. If somebody comes on your property, that's different. Tell them to leave, and if they don't, we can arrest them. Freedom is scary, Josh. Just because kids are doing things that scare you, if they're not breaking the law, you don't get to have the police department go and seize them illegally and try to scare them away for you. But instead, these cops seem to be acting as Josh's personal police force, tasked with ensuring that Josh is no longer scared of a bunch of YouTube kids. Why else is this happening other than the Mormon connection? Officer Tonga, who by the way started this whole thing with his direct phone call to Josh, which already reeks of a special relationship, admitted that he was going to treat Ben differently because this is Utah.
Ben, how's Utah?
It's good.
You like it?
In the days to come, where the incidents progressively become way worse, there would be other admissions by the American Fork Police Department that this was a targeted campaign to scare Ben out of Utah, thereby protecting fellow Mormons. Remember, Tyler Shaw is actually a resident of American Fork, Utah. He lives just down the road from Josh, but he's not a Mormon, so he got the same treatment as Ben. So it wasn't just about protecting local residents from this crazy YouTube kid from California. Tyler was actually a local resident, and they did basically the opposite of protect him. And even now, they are still, Tyler told me, following him around his own town in Utah like they're trying to intimidate or scare him. In the next few days, both Tyler and Ben would have even worse interactions with the American Fork Police Department, including multiple swatting type incidents where they were illegally searched and even arrested. We now know how those happened because the unredacted conversations between Josh, his business associates, and the American Fork Police Department have now been released. And they show that this isn't just a conspiracy theory, but that this bizarre and troubling relationship exists between these guys and these police officers, which caused Ben and Tyler to get the Utah treatment that was threatened and ultimately received. Here, this is only the first incident on day one in Utah, and we've already documented multiple constitutional violations. Officers filmed themselves performing an illegal detention of Tyler and Ben for a period of over 30 minutes while they fished for evidence, issued veiled threats, attempted to intimidate Ben, and to help Josh, all in the absence of the required reasonable suspicion that some crime or violation had occurred. But there are many more violations to come, with lots more footage to break down, and these are even worse. So I'm going to get to the next one in part 3. Why does it matter and what can be done about it? I'm laying out and documenting these constitutional violations because there needs to be a civil lawsuit filed against the American Fork Police Department as well as the officers involved. I already have a lawyer interested in taking on the case, while Ben still has criminal charges to be resolved, as well as that massive civil lawsuit to deal with. Tyler was also victimized. He was the one driving the car during this incident, and also the person most victimized at the next incident. He may actually be the best plaintiff in a civil lawsuit. I asked him about it, and he's interested. So I'm trying to get him set up with the best possible civil rights lawyer as I'm continuing to go through and document all the violations that occurred, not just for Ben and Tyler, but for posterity and for the public to see. So there's still a lot left to do, and you can follow along by subscribing both here and at the blog at thecivilrightslawyer.com. You can follow me on X and the other socials at JohnBryanESQ. Remember, Josh, our rights don't end where your fear begins. Freedom is scary. Deal with it.